Zimbabwe's Emmerson Mnangagwa of the governing ZANU-PF party has been declared the winner in Monday's presidential elections, but by the narrowest of margins. Mr Mnangagwa won just under 51% of the vote to avoid a runoff against the 44% for Nelson Chamisa of the Opposition Movement for Democratic Change Alliance, the MDC. Well, Mr Chamisa rejected the results and said his party would be challenging them in court. Our Africa editor Fergal Keane sent this report from Harare.
After a wait in which the country was plunged into crisis, at last, the moment of decision.
The votes received by Mnangagwa Emmerson Dambudzo of ZANU-PF party are more than half the number of votes cast in the presidential election. Therefore, Mnangagwa Emmerson Dambudzo of ZANU-PF party is therefore duly declared elected president of the Republic of Zimbabwe with effect from the 3rd of August 2018.
The newly elected president is the man who overthrew Robert Mugabe last November.
Today, we are witnessing the beginning of a new and unfolding democracy.
His victory is the culmination of 50 years of activism and political manoeuvring for the man nicknamed the Crocodile, patient and ruthless. Do those characteristics describe you, do you think?
I am as soft as wool. I am a very soft person in life, my brother.
But hours before tonight's announcement, the man he has defeated claimed that Mr Mnangagwa had stolen the election.
People know what they voted for. And they definitely did not vote for Idi Mnangagwa in this election. And people know that.
The victory declaration won't end the polarisation that's deepened so dramatically in the last days. This was the normally bustling centre of Harare. Soldiers who'd opened fire on crowds yesterday warned people to go home. It's an apprehensive place. It's a city whose streets don't belong to the people today, but to men with batons and guns. We came across a standoff with police at opposition headquarters. They'd arrested several people. The face of a prisoner. But they wanted more who were still in the building. Have the police entered the building?
No, we stopped them from doing that. We stopped them from doing that.
So there's an army chopper coming overhead?
Oh, yeah.
Finally a warrant and more arrests. The faces tell their own story about Zimbabwe's politics today. It was a very different scene among ZANU supporters in rural Mazoe, confidently expecting the victory of Idi Mnangagwa.
It has been our liberation party since 1980, so we were born in ZANU-PF and I'm in ZANU-PF and I will support it to the end.
The president has his victory and is backed by the might of the state, but he will rule a deeply divided nation. Fergal Keane, BBC News, Harare.
Let's go to Nomsa Maseko, who joins us from Harare. What reaction on the streets today, Nomsa?
Well, the people have spoken, according to Zimbabwe's Electoral Commission, but no celebrations are taking place here on the streets of Harare. It is quiet. There is still a military and police presence on the streets following those clashes that led to the deaths of 6 people earlier on this week.
The Electoral Commission took a long time to declare this victory, some 3 days. What reasons were behind that?
Well, the Electoral Commission said the fact that there were 23 presidential hopefuls, the highest number that they've ever seen, of 19 men and 4 women, all having presidential ambitions, was part of the reason why there were delays in releasing those results. They said that the counting of those results and the verification took a lot longer than it normally would have, and also they were waiting for all the involved parties' legal legal representatives to verify and say that they are satisfied with the result. But that was not the case in the early hours of this morning as we sat and waited for the Electoral Commission to release those results. Members of the opposition movement for democratic change stormed in and said that they believe that this election had been stolen and that they will go to court. And there was a response from party agents of the governing ZANU-PF party telling them to get out of the venue, saying that they need to go back to their headquarters and also calling on police to arrest those people because they say that there is no evidence to prove that this election was stolen.
I mean, potentially a very volatile situation with the supporters of Nelson Chamisa. Do we know if there are any negotiations taking place between him, Nelson Chamisa, and Emmerson Mnangagwa?
Earlier on this week, after the skirmishes between the soldiers and protesters supporting the movement for democratic change, we heard that the president had been in discussions with Nelson Chamisa, calling on him to talk to his supporters and to remain calm and wait for the outcome of the result. But the opposition is saying that it is going to go to court. We don't know at this stage if there are fresh negotiations that are taking place in light of the fact that the president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, won by a very slender margin.
Okay, Nomsa with the latest in Harare. Thank you very much.